Hey, beautiful souls, beautiful sunshine here with the R Holistic Killer, aka Sonia B. I'm back with another prophetic message that I actually received Saturday, but I'm just now getting it to you guys today. So anyway, with all that being said, I just want to say, if you guys are new to my channel, I just want to say welcome, and for those of you who returned back, I want to say welcome back. Keep in mind that these energies could be happening right now at this present moment, or it could have possibly already happened for some of you. It just depends on your location on the planet, whether you're in the northern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere, the east coast, west coast. All that plays a factor of when the energy will reach you. So keep in mind that if it's not happening to you, it could be happening to someone that's close to you, a spouse, mate, friend, co-worker, boss, supervisor. Take it how it resonates, neighbor, whoever. Yeah, take it how it resonates. So anyway, with all that being said, for those of you who do not know, I am an intuitive, clairvoyant, Hayoka empath who receives divine prophetic dream messages. I also receive intuitive messages as well, and I also receive intuitive messages through music as well too. I am also a Reiki master teacher, and I'm also a Reiki practitioner as well too. And I also have other gifts that I've yet to disclose yet, but I'm going to keep those a little hush hush for now. But anyway, so with all that being said, let's get into the prophetic message. And the first message, I am at the end of this book, y'all. This was the last page in this book. I have so many books that are just stacked up. Anyway, so with all that being said, let's get into the message. So this first dream that I dreamed, okay, so it came in a form like I was visiting my sister's house in a sense. And my sister's house, it was like myself as well as I felt like it was my spouse in the dream, or whatever the case may be. Felt like this person was my spouse in a dream. Like we were visiting my sister's house, but for some particular reason we were visiting her house. And let me see. So when we got into her house, it was like different events that were kind of happening. So when we got to her house, I had noticed like I felt like I was punching in a code, like her security keypad code to get in, like through a garage door opener or whatever, you know, like how you have those. I was punching in that key code. And as I was punching in this code, I had noticed like there was like, let me say this first. First, it's like when we was driving up to the house, okay, let me say this. When we was driving up to the house, I had noticed there was a white car that was sitting off to the side. And this person was sitting in the car. They had tinted windows. They was parked on the side of somebody's house, but it wasn't their car. I knew that it wasn't their car. So I say all that to say it was just like this open area space where a car can kind of pull in there. But again, it wasn't those people's car whose car was parked there near like a common area space. So anyway, this car was parked there, but the person who was in the car, I got the feeling that they were male, and I got the feeling, I didn't get the feeling, I saw their windows were like halfway cracked, and they was, smoking cigarettes in a sense. So, because I could see the smoke coming from out of the window, and they was just sitting and watching. So I say all that to say that I had pulled up to their house, and as I had pulled up to their house, it's like I had pulled up in a van. I had pulled up in a van, and as I pulled up in the van, I got the feeling like my spouse was trying to, I think he was trying to back, I don't know if he was trying to back it up. Anyway, let me just make a long story short. So I say all that to say when we got to the house, I got out of the van, and I went up to like the garage door opener, and I punched in her password to open up the garage because she wasn't home. Her or her spouse wasn't home in the dream. And I say all that to say, and when I noticed the door, I had noticed that there was a big hole in the door, like somebody had shot a hole in the door. And when I say a hole, I don't mean like a small hole. This was like a big hole, like it was about this big, probably like about every bit of 8 inches big, that I could literally see that there was a blast that went through the door. But I say all that to say, I knew that something was wrong in the way that the door was looking. I knew that somehow I got the feeling like somebody had kind of intruded the house. So it skipped the scene, and I kind of got the feeling like my sister in the dream, she was telling, I got the feeling that her and her spouse were telling their friends, I guess, what had happened in regards to what had happened to their house. So I say all that to say it is switched scenes again, and then this time, as if maybe like when she was telling her friends, like maybe she could have been at work, is what I'm hearing Spirit say. Like she was telling her friends, like, and this is hypothetically, y'all. So for you guys, it could be happening in a different form, but I'm just letting you know how it showed up. So I saw her telling her friends what had happened, because I basically called her and told her, I guess, what was happening. Like, you know, hey, you have a door. And granted, I didn't see this part in the dream because it just literally just switched scenes in the dream. So anyway, so I saw her telling her friends what was going on, basically I had told her, and then all of a sudden it switched scenes again. So as it switched scenes again, this time I saw her and her spouse. They were inside the house and they were basically talking amongst themselves, like, I guess trying to, kind of got the feeling, what I'm hearing Spirit say, like they were a little worried about something. Like they were worried about whether, I guess this person was going to come back whether this person was going to come back again and invade their space again, should I say. So that was the end of that dream. And I know it kind of sounds like it was all over the place, but what I had received from that message was, some of you could be finding yourself dealing with, or you're about to find yourself dealing with, a situation where that hole that was in the door, it's almost like, what I'm hearing Spirit say, it's almost like if you think about how like, you know how like an asteroid hits Earth or whatever, or how like a meteor hits Earth, or, you know, sometimes you have like meteor showers and things hit the Earth or whatever the case may be. It was almost like, in your bed, get in your bed. It was almost like that had kind of like bust through her door in a sense. I kind of got the feeling like that had kind of bust through her door in a sense, but that's just metaphorically speaking, should I say. But anyway, with that being said, with the person who was sitting in the car, that was just letting me know, because he was sitting there smoking a cigarette, it was just letting me know that his energy was, I know that his energy was like low vibration. And take this how it resonates, because I'm hearing Spirit say this could be a male or this could be a female, even though it showed up in the dream as if it was a male sitting there watching, you know, the house. Take it how it resonates. So again, it could apply to a female as well as a male who was sitting in the car, you know, watching. But I say all that to say, this person was of low vibrational energy. So this could be happening in a sense of, there's actually a person, a physical person, or this is a situation of, and when I say a physical person, what I'm seeing is it could have been one or two things, is what Spirit is giving to me. One situation is the person who was sitting in the car basically was somebody who kind of like entered somebody's home without permission in a sense. And the other scenario that I'm getting is, like I said, about the meteor showers, or, you know, little comets and stuff hitting the earth and so on and so on. You know, the blast that was in the hole, the blast of the hole that was in the doorway could be a sense of an unseen force that you guys aren't aware of, you know, and that could be negative energy, a negative entity, a dark force in a sense. I mean, I'm not wishing this on anybody. I'm just telling you just how I, you know, felt in a dream. I mean, I wasn't necessarily scared, but I can tell that my sister and her spouse was afraid of what was happening. I was unbothered by it, but I can tell that it was bothering them, because it kind of like shook their sense of security, is what I'm hearing Spirit say. So I say all that to say, again, some of you guys may find yourself dealing with this situation. And if it's not you dealing with it, could be somebody that you know that's dealing with it as well too. So keep that in mind as well too. So I know that, yeah, I know God is dealing with each and every person in their own little way, just depending on, you know, whether you've done the work or not, or, you know, whether you, I don't want to comment on too much of that. But anyway, so it's just a matter of that God is just dealing with certain people right now, should I say. So take it how it resonates. And what I'm hearing Spirit says that all bad things work together for the good. So I say all that to say it could be a situation that maybe somebody may seem like it's a harsh situation. It is a situation that seems very, I'm hearing Spirit say like volatile. If I'm saying that right, volatile. Yeah. And I say all that to say, but it's going to be a situation of, because what I'm hearing Spirit say is that sometimes people need a little fear in them, in a sense, in order to get them moving, especially if they have been sitting still for too long. So take it how it resonates, but I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to skip on to the next dream. So I hope you guys understood that, and I hope I'm not really confusing you. So this second dream came in a form of, I got the feeling like it came in a form as if I was worried about my spouse, should I say. Like I was dreaming. I couldn't really see him, but I could hear myself being worried about him, should I say. My spouse in the dream. So I felt myself being worried about him, worrying whether he was going to be okay, whether, just worrying about, I guess, him just in general, should I say. So I say all that to say I got the feeling that some of you guys are going to find yourself worrying about certain people, and you're going to find yourself worrying about certain people, just worrying about whether they're okay, just worrying about their well-being, worrying about, it could be a lot of different scenario things, whether it be somebody's health, worrying about whether somebody's okay physically, worrying about just somebody's emotional and mental state, just worry, like how a wife would worry about her significant other, or how a husband would worry about his wife. Take it how it resonates. It can go both ways. So some of you are going to find yourself in a situation that you're going to be worried about a particular situation. What it is, I don't know. Only you know that. So take it how it resonates. But that was the end of that dream. But I did also receive a dream on Friday too. And this came in a form, God wouldn't allow me to see anything. So I don't know what was up with that. But sometimes he allowed me to hear things, but not necessarily see things, because I guess it could be too catastrophic is what I'm hearing for me to see. So he won't allow me to see it, but he allowed me to hear what's taking place, because there's something about when you see a particular image in your train of thought, that image sticks in your mind and it plays with your emotions and your feelings, and it's hard to really get that image out of your head. So I say all that to say that I give you a classic example. One time I dreamed that there was an explosion that took place, and I could hear the explosion taking place, and it really scared me in a dream, to the point that I woke up and I was like, oh my God, what happened? And I'm thinking that something had literally exploded, and it got to the point that I got up and looked out my window and realized that everything was calm, cool, and collect. But that wasn't happening on this part of the earth or the region that I am in. It was happening somewhere else, and I was picking up on that energy. So I say all that to say that God wouldn't allow me to see what was taking place. But round about that time that explosion took place was round about the same time that explosion took place in the Middle East back in 2020, I think it was. That big explosion that they had. So I say all that to say, God, again, he wouldn't allow me to be able to, he didn't allow me to see that particular event, but he allowed me to hear it. So I say all that to say, Friday, I actually received a message where I got that, I felt like I was at a construction site in a sense. Like, you know how you hear drilling, wailing, and, the bulldozer digging, and the trucks backing up, and all the commotion that goes on at a construction site. What I had gotten from that, I felt like it was like I can feel the intensity from that while I was sleeping, because I felt myself like, kind of like not shaking and shivering like I was scared, but it was just so much going on, so much intense stuff. Bright lights. If you think about construction at night, it's bright lights. There's cones in the way, there's traffic, there's the backing up of trucks, the bulldozing, and the big 8-wheel trucks, the trucks that carry debris and all that other stuff. Think about all that noise, should I say. So I say all that to say, this one is about to tie back to what I'm about to say in a minute, but I got the feeling like some of you guys are under construction. And I say under construction to be, you're under construction, and it's like God is trying to dig way deep down in what I'm hearing is your psyche, in a sense, so that whatever has been underneath that surface, if you think about the before the construction people came, the road was fine. It might have had a couple of holes in it, or maybe potholes or whatever, but it was fine. And it really doesn't become it became undisturbed when they started digging down into the ground, down with the bulldozer, pulling up some of the gravel, pulling up some of the dirt, digging holes and all that other stuff. So I say all that to say that some of you guys are finding yourself like under construction right now, in a sense, like your feelings, your emotions, your heart, your, everything that you have been, that has been underneath the surface is what I'm hearing. Everything that has been underneath the surface is being digged up. Thank you, Spirit. Digged up. So it's almost like God is digging a hole or a pathway to allow, you know how they drill for oil? I guess I don't really know how they drill for oil, but if you think about, they taking something and digging holes, and then take a pipeline and stick the pipeline, pushing the pipeline way deep down. Then all of a sudden you think about all of this stuff going through the pipe that looks like a straw, going through the pipe now from after inserting the pipe into the ground after digging for so long, and then all of a sudden it's striking oil. Now the oil is coming up through the straw. It's like that. It's almost like God is having you guys under construction, digging out all that debris, the dirt, the gunk, digging up everything. What I'm hearing Spirit say is digging up everything behind, like the shame, the guilt, the unworthiness, the lack of peace, the self-sabotaging, the what else, the insecurities, all of that. Like, he's bringing all of that stuff to the surface, if that makes sense. Okay, let me move on, because this construction dream is tied to the one that I'm about to give you now. And why does that music in the background sound like an ASAP, if I'm saying that right, commercial for the animals or whatever? Anyway, but it sound like a sad music. I didn't realize that was going to be playing. Anyway, but so this one, this last dream, this one came in a form of, I was like at a dentist's office, okay? So I felt like I was at a dentist's office, and I went to see this lady because like my tooth was bothering me, in a sense. In a dream, it was like my tooth was bothering me. No, actually my tooth wasn't bothering me, but I knew that I was at a dentist's office, should I say. And I say all that to say that I had went to the dentist because what had happened was, if you think about your tooth, if you got your top row of teeth and you got your bottom row of teeth. So I say all that to say, imagine your molar teeth. Like, I think it's, sometimes we pull out wisdom teeth or whatever. And then, okay. Anyway, so your molar teeth, you know what those are. Those are usually the teeth that usually have the two roots on them. They usually have the two roots on them. So I say all that to say, God showed me a specific tooth, and I was just like, okay. Anyway, he showed me a specific tooth, so I had to go do my little research, because I was like, okay, I see what tooth he's showing me. What is the message behind this? So I say all that to say that it was the bottom row of teeth. It was on this side, which is the molar teeth. It is number 18. Because I had to Google the teeth chart and figure out which tooth that was, and metaphysically speaking, figure out what was associated to that particular tooth. So I say all that to say it was tooth number 18. It's your molar teeth. It's your second molar teeth. So I say all that to say that tooth was bothering me in a dream. So as it was bothering me in a dream, what was happening, and this is tying back to the construction that I said what was taking place, it is also tying back to when I said that I was at my sister's house or whatever the case may be, and that situation as well too. And on top of the fact of saying that that I was worrying about my spouse for a particular reason. And I say all that to say, tooth number 18 is again, it's the second molar teeth in your mouth. And the second molar teeth, it is tied to, if you think about it, when you pull out a molar teeth, they usually have two roots on it, right? So in some cases, some people have three on there. Usually, sometimes people are unique and different in their own way, that they have like they have a third root on to their teeth, but most of the times it's usually just two roots on that tooth or whatever. So I say all that to say, tooth number 18 is tied back to is associated with relationships. And take it how it resonates. So some of you are dealing with situations in your life that you are, excuse me, I'm still burping up breakfast, y'all. Excuse me, give me 1 second. Excuse me. So I say all that to say, it is tied back to your relationships with people. Take it how it resonates. Again, it could be a relationship with your mom, could be a relationship with your spouse, could be a relationship with your dad, could be a relationship with co-workers, could be a relationship with, friends, could be a relationship with a boss, neighbors, whoever. Take it how it resonates. Only you know. And I'm going to tell you in a minute, and then you're going to tie the two to figure out what it's pertaining to. So I say all that to say, anytime you are dealing with the situation that's pertaining to your mouth is going back to your throat chakra. Your throat and your mouth are connected. So I say all that to say, that means that you're not speaking your truth about something to whoever it may be. Whether it's, again, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your neighbor, your aunt, your grandma, whoever it is that you need to say whatever needs you to say to. Kids, whoever. It doesn't matter. But the point of the matter is, because the tooth was in the mouth, again, and the mouth is tied back to the throat chakra, which is about speaking. I say all that to say, that if you, and I'm gonna, hold on, because I didn't even finish telling you the dream. I'm already trying to get into the meat part of the dream. But anyway, so as I was saying, I was at the dentist's office and tooth number 18 was bothering me. Forgive me. Tooth number 18 was bothering me. So when I was there at the office, it was bothering me very mildly. But then as time was going on, I noticed that it was like this metal thing was pushing up through my tooth, like literally coming up through my tooth. And it literally was just pushing its way up through my tooth. And I was like, I kept feeling with my tongue and I was like, oh my God, like, that's how I ended up at the, so I say all that to say, it was mild when I went to the office. I never felt the metal. But then the longer I was there in the dentist's office, was the more I was starting to feel the metal coming up through the tooth. So I say all that to say, I knew that I needed to do something about it, because it got to the point that it got so uncomfortable. As it became uncomfortable, it almost felt like I was afraid that I was going to cut my tongue, because I kept putting my tongue back there where the metal was, is just trying to figure out what was happening and what it was doing, because I didn't have a mirror around to look and see, but I could feel it with my tongue. So I say all that to say, again, it's tying back to relationships. So whatever relationship in your life that you feel like that maybe you're not expressing yourself, you're not being your true authentic self, you're not speaking your truth. And when I'm also hearing Spirit say that there are times that some of you guys will speak your truth around certain people, but then there are other people who you won't speak your truth around as well too. So take it how it resonates. So I say all that to say that it's tied back to your, the tooth was tied back to your throat chakra. So anytime that you're not speaking your truth, that's where the self-sabotaging is coming in at, because whatever you're feeling, it usually comes from the heart. So whatever the heart is expressing and you're not speaking it, you're not speaking your truth. So I say all that to say, when we suppress things, what we're feeling within our heart, let's just say if a particular feeling comes up, like let's just say if there's somebody that you want to be And again, use your intuition, because I know some people are being divinely guided of separating from certain people. So it's important to use your intuition with certain situations. If not, you're going to find yourself repeating cycles again that you don't want to keep being on a hamster wheel. But I say all that to say that if you're not expressing yourself, if you're not speaking your truth, if you're not speaking your authentic truth of what's really in the heart, expressing how you really feel, then that's when you know that you have a blocked chakra. So I say all that to say that I don't know if some of you guys may be dealing with mouth issues, dealing with tooth issues. You know how back in the days your parents and stuff would tell you like you got a lot bump in your mouth and all that other stuff. You know, I'm not sure if they tied to mouth ulcers or something like that. But anyway, don't quote me or get me wrong. But I say all that to say that, you know, what your parents would say stuff like, at least in the South, I know they would say that a lot. I don't know about up north or just in general, but I know I would hear a lot of people say about, oh, you told a lie, you know, you got a lot bump in your mouth or whatever. So I say all that to say, if you're having mouth problems, mouth issues, you might want to think about why you're probably having those symptoms, because those symptoms are obviously coming up because usually they're either tied to one or two things. They're usually tied to either possibly poor eating habits, or it's either tied back to again, depending on which tooth it is. But because in this dream it showed up as tooth 18, and 18 is tied back to relationships in some sort of way. And again, take it how it resonates, whatever, you know, what I'm hearing spirit say is tying into people's relationships. So whatever relationship that you are dealing with that seems to be a little complicated, that you're not speaking your truth, you're not speaking what's coming from the heart, you're not being authentic, you're suppressing what it is that you feel, you're not telling the truth, you're lying about certain things of how you truly feel, you allowing these feelings. It's almost like you're keeping these feelings and emotions silent, should I say. And that's where the construction come in at. As I told you, that is like God has got some people under construction. He's digging up these holes, and the blast that was in the door, the hole that was in the door, it's like he's digging up these holes and making holes so it can make room for things to come in and go out. So I say all that to say that when you're not able to fully express your true authentic self, things that are least associated to your heart, that's how you know that you have a blocked chakra, should I say. But when you are able to fully express how you feel your feelings, your emotions, and all that other stuff, if you're able to express those, you know, to people, then that's how you know that your throat chakra is in alignment. Just because your throat chakra is in alignment does not necessarily mean that there may not be any other chakras that may be out of alignment. But that's why it's so important to just make sure that they all kind of stay in alignment. I know at times they can be a little hard to do, but you know, just depends on what people got going on. But I say all that to say, you know, some different characteristics real quick of traits and characteristics of the various things that some of you may be dealing with. Difficulties with communicating, feeling like a sense of low self-esteem, self-doubting yourself, feeling uninspired, and feeling, and honestly, I forgot to tell you too. So the metal that was coming up out of the tooth, when I Googled symbolism of metal, it said hardness or lack of feelings. So some of you are being so rigid, so tight, and that's the reason why what I'm hearing is that's the reason why God has to go in there with the construction team is what I'm hearing, in order to dig a hole, in order to allow that stuff to come out, so you can see that now is the time to get it up out, because it's no longer serving your purpose. It's holding you back. It's stifling you is what I'm hearing. It's blocking you on so many different levels. But have you guys seen the movie Spirited Away? You remember when that, I don't know, don't quote me, but if you've seen Spirited Away, I think it was the big baby. Was it the baby? Or was it the lady? Anyway, I think it was the baby. Was it the baby that was really, really big? The baby was really, really big. And then all of a sudden, when I think the thorn or the plug came out of the baby, all of a sudden he went down. It was like, he shrunk down to size. Like he was no longer as big as he was walking around, because when he was the baby, he was a giant. But once the plug came out of him, it's like that's how it is. It's like all those emotions, feeling, everything that you have been storing in your body. And what I'm also hearing Spirit say too, if you've been having a hard time with losing weight, that's part of the reason, because you're storing up so much of those emotional feelings in your body. Just imagine when you have self-sabotaging, pity, shame, guilt, a lack of self-esteem, shyness, rigidness, tightness, conflict within yourself. Just think about, if you have, the more stuff you add, the more you become big. And the more you get rid of that stuff, that's like the plug again. Once the plug comes out, it's like, once you release all that stuff, you're going to find yourself not having such a hard time with losing weight, should I say, because those are just stored up feelings and emotions that's in your body, and it just depends on where you're storing it up at as well too. That has definitely some significance to it as well. So anyway, and some of you are feeling like you're feeling misunderstood. You feel like you're being held back. You're feeling like you're feeling unworthy of good things in life, and God is trying to tell you, no, you're worthy. You're my child too. You're worthy. Excuse me. Some of you are having conflict with yourself. You're in conflict with yourself. It's like you're battling yourself for no particular reason. But I'm here to tell you, don't be harsh on yourself, because we all make mistakes, including myself. I've made mistakes. I've made mistakes over my life. There's so many times, growing up, that I had to apologize to people because I responded in a way once that I didn't like. I'm just giving an example. I responded in a way that I didn't see fit, that I knew wasn't me, just me being in me not being able to express myself through I could express myself, but it was how it came out. It was my delivery of lashing out at people, should I say. So I'll say all that to say I'm a work in progress too, because there are times that, it just depends on what's going on. And it just depends, as I told you guys before, like certain situations, it's like, every day is, but see, here's the key. Thank you, Spirit. Every day is a new day. So whatever you didn't get right yesterday, there's always tomorrow. Leave yesterday in yesterday. Today is a brand new day. So whatever happened then, it happened then. Every day we are granted with a brand new day to have grace and mercy to relive that day again, like Groundhog Day, but this time get it right, if that makes sense. So, and this last one, some of you have been so conflicted, being conflicted with yourself, with continuously changing your mind, just going back and forth. 1 minute it's this, no, it's not that. And I get it, because there's times I think about certain things. I was like, oh no, I just an example, I deserve so much more. Like, I'm not settling for less. I deserve more than, what it is somebody may be trying to offer me, whether it's a family member or whether somebody trying to get me to settle for less or whatever the case may be. So, when you think about that, you're like, oh, H to the double hockey stick, no, so I say all that to say I get it. Sometimes we do go back and forth in regards to, changing our mind about certain things, because, when you really think about it, is you have to know your self-worth. Know that you are worthy of better and not settling for less. Because when you know that you're worthy of better, God is going to send you better. But when you feel like you're not worthy, he's going to send you things that are not worthy, because that's how you're feeling about yourself on the inside. He's reflecting it to you on the outside. So if you got people within your vicinity who are acting like they're not worthy, who have no self-respect, no integrity, take it how it resonates in whatever shape or form, that's God mirroring back to you how you feel about yourself on the inside. You change your mindset and know that you are worthy of better, that's going to start being reflected to you on the outside. People are going to start treating you like you're worthy, So I say all that to say that, I give you a classic example. Like the other day, me and my son went to go walk the dog in the afternoon. And granted, we went up to like the crosswalk or whatever the case may be. And this man had plenty of time to go. And he literally sat there. Mind you, the dog was using the bathroom. And he literally sat there at the crosswalk and waited. And I'm thinking like, he's not gone yet. So I waved him. I told him, go ahead on. And he was like, no, go, you go. And then he literally protruded himself out the window. He was like, I absolutely had, what did he say? He said, no, you go. I'm not in a rush. He said, I got the AC here. You out in the heat. So you go ahead and go. And I was like, okay. But, you know, but that was, that's just an example of like, how I feel about myself on the inside. It was being reflected to me through that man. He, you know, he saw that I was worthy of him sitting there, even though he waited a little unnecessarily, a long time to go. I say all that to say that that was being reflected back to me, you know, because that's how I feel about myself on the inside. So anyway, y'all, I hope that information was helpful, but, I hope that information was helpful. So I hope you guys will join me in the Reiki session in regards to when I do the Reiki videos, because I will eventually get into a discussion of the different chakras and what organ systems are usually tied to those different chakras, as well as what feelings and emotions and stuff, and any associated diseases and illnesses that's attached to it as well too. So, you know, if you guys are experiencing different ailments and so on, you know, by all means, feel free to, you know, chime in on my Reiki, I'm sorry, feel free to chime in on, yeah, I'm having a moment. Feel free to chime in on my Reiki with Sonia B session. Yeah. So that way, you know, I don't know. So that way you can learn something new if you haven't already learned something new. Anyway, so that way that you guys will see and understand, you know, just how important is the benefits of just, you know, having a Reiki session is very beneficial for people, you know. Anyway, so with all that being said, I'm going to end it here. So until the next prophetic message, I wish you all much love, much light, and I'll say peace and blessings. Bye.